Hey, hello there, and in this lesson we're going to be looking at another new type of chord, the seventh chord. Now, if you remember, we've divided our chords up into different families or types. We've got our major chord family, which sounds very upbeat and happy. We've got our dark and doomy sounding minor chords, and now we've got seventh chords, which are often described as having a bit of a bluesy or jazzy flavour. So let's check out some seventh chords now. This is the E7 chord. Should be very easy because it's just like an E chord, but we're not using our third finger. We've got our first finger is at the first fret on the third string, our second finger is at the second fret on the fifth string, and we're going to play all of the strings. Just check them separately and then strum the chord. Perhaps the main thing to watch out for is that all of those open strings are ringing properly, particularly the fourth string, because that's in between our two fingers, so make sure you're up on the tips of your fingers. Also make sure that your first finger isn't leaning over and blocking the second string. You just want to be nicely up on the tips of all your fingers, and that way you should get 6 clear notes. This is what an A7 chord looks like. I don't think you'll have too many problems with this chord. You want to put your second finger at the second fret on the fourth string, your third finger at the second fret on the second string, and you're playing 5 strings in this chord, no low E. It should be reasonably easy to get this sounding good. Just as usual, make sure you're up on the tips of your fingers and that all of those open strings are ringing clearly with no buzzes and no muted notes. Lastly, we have a D7 chord, and this is actually very similar in finger shape to the A7 chord. If you look at your A7 chord and were then to move each finger down one string towards the floor, then put down your first finger, you've got a D7 chord. You could see it as being a bit like a mirror image of a D chord. You can see that in each of those chords the fingers are in kind of a triangular configuration. So let's build this chord up. We've got first finger is at the first fret on the second string, second finger is at the second fret on the third string, and third finger is at the second fret on the first string. Just going to check each note is clear. And we're only playing 4 strings in this chord. There's no low E and there's no A. And it should be fairly easy to get this chord sounding good, I think. Just the usual things apply. Try and get up on the tips of your fingers and make sure you're not accidentally muting any of the strings that should be ringing. So get yourself comfortable with these new seventh chords, have a bit of a play around with them, try and get them memorized, and we'll be putting them to some use in a song in the very next lesson. I will see you for that very soon.